This Voice Registry podcast is brought to you by voicebank.net. Hi and welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Pattin, and today I am interviewing Mark Holden, Mark, why don't you tell us what you do?
Well, primarily I'm a freelance audio engineer, but I work in television, film, radio, and a lot in theater. Recording and mixing, editing, all kinds of stuff.
So you really do know a lot about the whole world of sound, which is what we need to know about as voice actors.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with everything from demos, animation demos, narrative demos, and all the way up through recording very large shows live and recording large studio shows.
Great. Well, what I want to ask you today is about this whole home studio setup that so many people are switching over to, adding that to their voiceover auditioning life. I know you've set people up in their home. So what does it take to do that? What do people need when they get started?
Well, the first thing is that I think that it's not a good idea to set up home studios if you don't have a lot of computer knowledge. The biggest issues that I've had with setting up people's studios is not the gear and not their voice talent and not their acting talent. It has to do with them not really understanding how a regular Macintosh or PC programs work.
So would the first thing then they need to do is learn how to operate a computer? Yeah,
I mean, most younger people are very computer savvy, but people who aren't, in the very young generation have a little harder time navigating through programs that help them record, whether it's Pro Tools or SoundForge or whatever. It takes a lot. What they know how to do is exactly, we try to train them when we set these things up to know how to use the program, but the problem is if anything ever goes wrong, they don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to do anything except literally open the program and go to record, and they don't understand the concept of anything behind what they're doing. So I would suggest, first of all, I think that the Mac is a better platform for most voiceover actors because it's just, but either platform, but if you go to the Apple Store, people can help you out there.
Yeah, and they're great. I've taken those one-on-one classes, the one-on-one tutoring once a week for a year. You can buy a year's membership to that, and they'll show you how to operate GarageBand and if you have any problems.
And it's really about understanding how how basic computer programs work and how to navigate yourself through folders and directories and things like that so that you don't have huge problems if one little thing goes wrong with your voiceover setup. So that's the first thing you should do. Okay,
now, the second thing, what are the things they need? So if you could just give us a laundry list.
Well, most people, you need a computer, first of all. You don't need a computer, but these days the best way, most people have computers, so you can usually cut out that expense so you don't have to go buy a new computer. So usually the computer that people have in their house will work fine.
Okay.
Whether it's PC or Mac. And the next thing you need is an audio and a decent sound card or audio interface. And then you need to choose software.
And that sound card, Mark, if they're wondering, what is a sound card? Because I don't even really understand that. What is that?
I mean, it basically depends on what you're talking about, but a sound card basically upgrades and gives you more inputs and outputs to your current system. Like most computers come with just like one input, one output, and they're unbalanced, which means that you can get noise introduced and whatnot. They're not like professional grade inputs and outputs. So when I say sound card or interface, generally what people do now is to get like a DigiDesign Inbox, which is Pro Tools, or to get like an M Audio interface that has like one microphone input and one microphone amplifier built into it. And that way you have a lot of control over your levels. You have a decent microphone amplifier. And then the next step is to buy a microphone. And obviously you need to have a place to record.
Okay, so obviously, the good microphones, we won't get into all of that, but you want a decent microphone, although you don't need to have a Neumann and those really, really high-end for auditions.
Yeah, I mean, generally what I suggest is a Rode NT1, which is a $199 mic. It's a great little condenser mic. It actually won a bunch of contests and shootouts with mics 10 times its cost. It's a really great little mic. I think if you want to keep your costs down, you can get an interface for a couple $100. You can get a mic for a couple $100, a stand, a pop filter, and a cable that basically runs from the mic to the interface.
Okay. And the pop filter, in case you listeners, you don't know what that is to keep you from popping your peas. It's a little screen, right, that goes over the mic?
Yeah, you can get them either cloth or metal, and basically what it does is it splits your air when it comes out of your mouth. So the air doesn't rush to the microphone and cause the microphone to, basically vibrate, causing that low frequency pop that we've all heard.
Okay, and so now let's talk about where in your house, apartment, wherever you live, where is the best place?
Yeah, I mean, generally if people have walk-in closets or even small closets, if it's just one person getting in there, that's a great place. Even filled with clothes is fine. You don't necessarily, if you have a nice closet filled with clothes, you may not even have to put up any foam and things like that, because basically you're trying to find a dead area. It's just as important to find a dead area as it is to find a quiet area, because if you work in a large room, you're just going to hear the sound bouncing off all the walls and things like that.
And so are hardwood floors not so good, right?
For voiceover stuff, no. I mean, if you have hardwood floors, you probably want to just cover them with a rug.
Okay.
You can put foam up on doors and walls if you don't have a closet with clothes and whatnot.
Or even a blanket, right? For just an audition, you can kind of drape it around.
Like a moving blanket. I mean, what you're trying to do is to get the sound from keep the sound from bouncing off the walls and whatnot. Small spaces are much better than large spaces. So,
okay, that's great to know.
Really small closet. Bathrooms are bathrooms are bad.
that seems...
A lot of people ask me about bathrooms. They're like, oh, well, I have this small bathroom. Generally, there's a lot of hard surfaces in bathrooms, and it sounds really
So we're looking for soft surfaces.
Yeah, soft surfaces, closets, nice, small little family rooms, things like that in a corner.
Okay, great. Now, ballpark, how much does this cost to get started?
Well, if you already have a computer, I mean, if you need somebody to come help you set it up, it's usually anywhere from $75 to $125 an hour, and it's usually a couple hours to help them for them to come set up everything and show you how to use the program. And the cost of the interface is a couple $100. The cost of the mic's a couple $100, and the cables. You're probably looking at, if you have $500 to $600 for your equipment and another $200 to $300, under $1,000 for sure. You can get a setup. Yeah, you can get a nice setup. And I can't stress again the importance of just having a nice room, because if you really have no good space in your apartment or house to do this, you probably need to buy foam and things like that to help you deaden the room.
Okay. And, so this has been great, Mark. Just one last thing. What do you see with the whole technology and where it's going? And do you see things continuing to change? I mean,
in the voiceover world, or
and with the home studio setup, because I know you set up home studios for people. Are you getting more and more people wanting this?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know that home studios are a good idea for people who are doing a lot of auditions and want to do a lot of work there. But I still recommend, anytime you're doing any sort of professional work, obviously, to go to a professional studio.
Right.
I think that technology has it's great because it's made it really possible for people not to have to drive to their agencies and whatnot to do their voiceovers. It's going to continue to grow that way, where agencies are going to want to do all their auditions, via MP3.
Right. It seems like it's going that way.
And things like that. So I think that, if you're serious about voiceover, spending a little more than I said earlier, to get like a nice dead space and learning about your computer as much as you can.
Yeah, it sounds like you said to me the other day that to you is the most important thing, is to learn how to use the computer, learn the software, the recording software.
Yeah, and I really, really encourage people to read the manuals of the software, even though it may seem a little overwhelming at first, just to go through it and do tutorials on whatever software, because all the software comes with great tutorials now.
And it's pretty easy. I mean, GarageBand is easy, and I know other programs are.
Yeah, I mean, essentially what I run into is people wanting to be lazy and not do that, and what it does is it ends up costing them way more money because they have to call someone like me.
They have to call you,
at $100 an hour or whatever, every time they need something fixed. Okay. So just really learning everything is the first step.
Great, Mark. Well, thank you, and we'll have you back. I want to have you back and ask you more about your other adventures and endeavors that you're doing with sound.
I'd love to come back. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
This Voice Registry podcast was brought to you by VoiceBank.net. Join us next time.